Angeles in for Jessica Moore, now on CBS 2 and streaming on CBS News New York. We begin with that disturbing death in Queens. The body of 51-year-old Orsoya Gall, a mother and wife, found inside a duffel bag just blocks from her home. CBS 2's Kieran Dillon is live outside the victim's home with new information on the case. Kieran?
Well, Jenna, this remains an active scene here in Forest Hills. Let me give you a live look behind me right now so you can see for yourself. Now, detectives just arrived here at Orsoya Gall's home moments ago. There were several who gathered on the front lawn and spoke briefly before a few of the detectives went inside with what appeared to be a search warrant. I should mention the crime scene unit also just arrived here on the scene. Now, we were originally told, Jenna, the woman's husband and son were potential suspects in the case. Sources tell us police no longer consider them persons of interest. Investigators are now working on the theory Gall may have been killed by a male perpetrator, someone who was known to her. On this quiet Easter Sunday, officers remained on guard outside of Orsoya Gall's home in Forest Hills, Queens. The home is now one of two scenes connected to her death. Next-door neighbor John Blankson saw Gall in her backyard on Friday, not long before she was killed.
You keep reliving the sequence of events as how does this happen. So it's actually quite strange. The more it goes on, the more it's like the gravity of the situation just keeps making it worse.
Gall's body was found in a duffel bag near Metropolitan Avenue in Forest Park Drive just after 8 Saturday morning by a man who was walking his dog. A trail of blood from where the duffel bag was found led them to her home on Juneau Street. Blankson describes Gall as a dedicated mother who was planning her son's bar mitzvah.
She's super friendly, so we will, for her to have a chat about whatever's going on, and we'll talk about our kids.
Neighbors say Gall lived in the home with her 2 sons as well as her husband. The businessman was in Oregon with his 17-year-old son when the incident happened. They are now on their way back to Queens. Saturday, police took Gall's 13-year-old son in for questioning, but he's since been released.
I'm sorry for the families, the kids. That's the most important thing right now. It's super devastating for our family and friends.
Sources add blunt force trauma is the suspected cause of death. Meantime, a good friend of Gall's who did not want to be identified tells us she was originally from Hungary where her mother and sister remain. She says Gall loved the theater, ballet, traveling, and concerts. She adds she went out on Friday night with a mutual female friend and returned home around 11 at night. Sources tell us investigators are now trying to access Gall's phone and bank records to determine her last set of activity. Meantime, residents here say they will miss their loving neighbor.
She was a very happy woman, always smiling, always joking.
And loved life.
Yeah.
She loved life, really. Yeah.